Alright, so shalom, brothers and sisters, and everybody who's online. Shalom. Um, we're here, we're online, different view, different setting, but still the same word. So we want to give all praise to the Most High Ahaya, Bahashem Yasha'aya, for allowing us to gather. Gonna go into a brief little breakdown on Ephesians, the 6th chapter. And I know I was supposed to do the Gentiles and the Grecians and the Greeks lesson, but every time I try to go into it, something else comes up. But I'll save that for another time or a later date. But I want to talk about Ephesians 6, right? Because I know a lot of you is probably familiar with what's going on with CERNs and how they're trying to release demons and do a whole bunch of wickedness in these last days, in these last days. So we gotta talk about it because there's a lot of things that's going on when you actually sit back and look at people and look at what's going on in the earth. Like even in your day-to-day travels, like going to school, going to work, going down the block, going to the store. You notice that a lot of people are impatient. People are quick to fight. People are quick to argue, especially about the littlest things. And we gotta understand that there's spirits that that walk around looking to use people as hosts. All right, and this is not something that your regular people or your average person knows about. People see poltergeists and spirits on movies and stuff like that, but they never take it to be as real. And what they're actually trying to do through these movies is actually trying to get people accustomed to the supernatural, right? They show it to you on movies, on these TV shows, and then out of nowhere, these things are going to really start happening. That's what they're really trying to do, because these spirits that are going to be released, they need hosts, they need bodies, they need people to to inhabit. But we gotta pinpoint the origin of these spirits. Where did they come from? How did they become in existence? Because that's a breakdown that they never even touch on in the Christian church, right? That's a breakdown that that they don't even touch on. They believe that is their demons and spirits and stuff like that, but they never give the origin, right? Some people say God created demons, but is that so? Let's go into the book of Enoch, but to prove the book of Enoch is even biblical, because a lot of people would say, oh, he's going into the book of Enoch. I don't even know if that's even in the Bible. But it's pretty evident that the prophets and the teachers and the apostles, they were reading the book of Enoch. They have an account of what was going on pre-flood, before the flood even happened, when Enoch was actually walking on the earth, right? So we're going to the book of Jude. Let's get the book of Jude real quick. To prove that the book of Enoch is actually biblical and is of sound doctrine that we could use to prove all things, right? We're in the book of Jude, and we're gonna start at verse. We're gonna say Jude, chapter 4. Jude 1 and 14. Excuse me. Start at verse 14.
Jude verse 14. And Enoch also, the seventh from Adam, prophesied of these, saying, Behold, the Most High cometh with 10,000s of his saints, to execute judgment upon all, and to convince all that are ungodly among them of all their ungodly deeds which they have ungodly committed, and of all their hard speeches which ungodly sinners have spoken against him. 16.
That's it right there. So those two verses, Jude was quoting these scriptures from somewhere. Where did he get that? And he said that Enoch also prophesied of these things. So where did Jude find the information to quote that in his book or in his scripture? Right? Let's go to Enoch, the first chapter. Show you right here where or how did Jude actually find these words to say? Look at Enoch chapter 1, starting at verse 3.
It says here, for it to come to the end of the period,
Yeah.
concerning the elect, I said, and took up my parable concerning them.
No, I'm sorry. 1 second. Here it goes. Sorry, it's Enoch 1 verse 9. Enoch 1 verse 9. Go ahead.
Enoch 1 verse 9. And behold, he cometh with 10,000s of his holy ones, to execute judgment upon all, and to destroy all the ungodly, and to convict all flesh of all the works of their ungodliness which they have ungodly committed, and of all the hard things which ungodly sinners have spoken against him.
So you see that? Jude was actually quoting exactly word from word for what the book of Enoch says. So if Jude was actually reading the book of Enoch, why aren't the Christian church reading the book of Enoch? And why aren't we reading the book of Enoch for more understanding? So now we're going to go into the understanding of where these demons come from. What's their origin? How did they come about? And why are they here? What's their purpose? So we're going to read what's their purpose and what we have to be mindful of. Go ahead.
So, and now the giants.
This is Enoch.
Chapter 15, verse 8.
Go ahead.
And now the giants who are produced from the spirits and flesh.
So you see, the giants, there was giants. The book of Genesis chapter 6 tell you that there was giants on the earth. So now this is telling you how the giants came on the earth. How they came on the earth, read that part again.
And now the giants who are produced from the spirits and flesh.
From the spirits and flesh, go ahead.
Shall be called evil spirits on the earth.
Shall be called evil spirits on the earth. So when the giants died, you know how when people die, your spirit comes out of you. So now when the giants died, their spirits came out of them, but they became what? Evil spirits, not righteous spirits. They became evil spirits. Go ahead.
And on the earth shall be their dwelling.
And on the earth shall be their dwelling. And we understand through the book of Enoch, when the soul leaves your body, it goes to a place. It don't just stay on the earth. It either goes to the place of habitations or it goes to the place of hell or torments or Hades. But the giants now, since the Most High did not create them, where do their souls stay or their spirits stay? Here on earth. Go ahead.
Evil spirits have proceeded from their bodies.
See, evil spirits have proceeded from their bodies. Go ahead.
Because they are born from men.
They are born from men and what?
And from the holy watchers.
And from the holy watchers. So the angels, which are called the holy watchers, and men, which is the womankind, they came together and their flesh became what? One flesh and produced giants. That was a hybrid being on the earth that the Most High did not create. Go ahead.
And from the holy watchers is their beginning and primal origin.
See, and from the holy watchers are the beginning and primal origin, showing you that the Most High did not create these demonic beings. The origin of them comes from the fallen angels who sinned against the Most High and slept with women and created a hybrid race, which were the giants, which were destroying the world and causing chaos. Go ahead.
Verse 10. They shall be evil spirits on earth.
See, they shall be evil spirits on earth. But you're going to find out that these evil spirits have a purpose that they have to live out. Go ahead.
They shall be evil spirits on earth, and evil spirits shall they be called.
See, evil spirits shall they be called. Go ahead.
As for the spirits of heaven, in heaven shall be their dwelling.
You see, the spirits in heaven, which are the angels and all the other spirits that the Most High created in heaven, their spirits remain in heaven. So that goes to show you another thing too. Humans, when we die, we don't float up into heaven as they tell you in church. We're not spiritual beings that dwell in heaven. Spiritual heavenly beings remain in heaven. Earthly beings goes into the place of habitations or Hades, but the spirits of the evil spirits or the giants, they remain here on earth. Go ahead.
But as for the spirits of the earth,
see, as of the spirits of the earth, go ahead,
which were born upon the earth,
which are born upon the earth, which is us, go ahead.
On the earth shall be their dwelling.
See, on the earth shall be our dwelling. Go ahead.
And the spirits of the giants,
Go ahead.
they afflict, oppress, they destroy, attack, they do battle.
See, this is what the evil spirits do. I'm sorry, the spirits of the earth were the spirits of the giants. So what the spirits of the giants, what they do? Read that again. What they do?
And evil spirits shall they be called.
Evil spirits shall they be called. Go ahead.
And the spirits of the giants, they afflict,
They afflict.
they oppress,
They oppress.
they destroy,
They destroy.
they attack,
And they attack.
they do battle,
Go ahead.
and they work destruction on the earth.
See, they do all these things. Their main purpose is to what? Work destruction on the earth. So nothing good can come from these evil spirits. Nothing positive can come from evil spirits. So when you see these things that are just mentioned here happening, going on the earth, there are evil spirits behind that. Okay, go ahead.
And cause trouble.
And they cause trouble. Anything you see that's causing trouble, mischief, anger, battle, that's not a spirit that comes from the Most High. These spirits come directly from the fallen angels. All right, from the seed of the fallen angels, which were the giants. Their spirits are now evil spirits on the earth, which cause all these things to happen on the earth. So whenever you see war break out, people arguing on the street, people fighting, that comes from evil spirits. That's not a regular spirit that dwells with us. That's not a regular spirit. So when you see people operating with that, just know that there's an evil spirit in the midst. Go ahead.
And cause trouble.
And cause trouble. Go ahead.
They take no food.
They take no food.
But nevertheless hunger.
But nevertheless they hunger. So what that means, they take no food. A spirit cannot eat, right? But they always hunger. They hunger to do the lust of their flesh, the lust of what they used to do on the earth. All those things that the book of Enoch just mentioned, they hunger to do it. They hunger every minute, every hour to do battle, to do mischief, to do wickedness, to cause troubles on the earth. They don't eat, but that's what they're hungry to do. They're looking for that every moment of the day. They're looking for an opportunity to jump into people and to cause and to use that person as a host to fulfill what they used to do when they roamed the earth. Go ahead.
And thirst.
And thirst.
And cause offenses.
And cause offenses. Go ahead.
And these spirits shall rise up against the children of men.
They shall do what?
Rise up against the children of men.
So you see, their main focus is to rise up against the children of men. These evil spirits, their main focus is to come and do battle against us, mankind. Go ahead.
And against the woman.
And against the what?
And against the woman.
And against the woman. So women have a higher level of being influenced by evil spirits than all the rest of the population. Why? He's going to explain it.
Because they have proceeded from them.
Because they have proceeded from them. Go ahead.
Of men and against, from them. From the days of the slaughter and destruction and death of the giants. From the souls of whose flesh the spirits, having gone forth, shall destroy without incurring judgment. Thus shall they destroy until the day of the consummation.
See, so they are permitted by the Most High to continue to destroy until the day of the consummation. And I know a lot of you brothers and sisters have been hearing that word lately, and we've been talking about that word a lot lately. The consummation. What is the consummation? The consummation of the times until the Most High comes back and judge. So they have enough time to go out and fulfill their wicked deeds until the Most High comes and judge the world. That's how much time they have. Go ahead.
Until the day of the consummation, the great judgment in which the age shall be consummated, over the watchers and the godless, yea, shall be wholly consummated. And now as to the watchers who have sent thee to intercede for them, who had been aforetime in heaven, say to them, you have been in heaven, but all the mysteries had not yet been revealed to you, and you knew worthless ones, and these in the hardness of your hearts you have made known to the women, and through these mysteries women and men work much evil on earth.
You see that? So because of the fallen angels, mankind has learned a lot of ills and a lot of wickedness upon the earth that we were not supposed to learn. But it was through the fallen angels we were able to learn these things. And now we're in the condition that we're in today. So now, that was just the clarity on where the primal origin of these evil spirits. So now let's go to the scriptures, the Holy Bible, the New Testament, and we're gonna see what Paul warns us about these evil spirits and how can we overcome them in these last days. So now we're in the book of Ephesians 6 and 12. We're going to take it at verse 12. Go ahead.
Ephesians chapter 6, verse 12.
Go ahead.
For we wrestle not against flesh and blood.
You see that? We wrestle not against flesh and blood,
but against principalities.
Go ahead.
Against powers. Against the rulers of the darkness of this world. Against spiritual wickedness in high places.
So what Paul is explaining to us that this battle that we're fighting in this world is not a physical battle, right? It's a spiritual battle. Because as we just read in Enoch, these evil spirits will rise up against the sons of man. So if they are fighting us spiritually, then the battle cannot be physical, right? Although we may have physical battles with one another, with other people, that doesn't mean that person is trying to fight you, or is that person's will to really want to hurt you and fight you. It's the evil spirit behind that person, pushing them to be on that evil and wicked path. So now Paul is saying that our fight is not against flesh and blood. So even though, like I said earlier, even though it looks like somebody is trying to attack you, know that there's an evil spirit present. So it's that evil spirit that's trying to do battle with you, right? Go ahead.
Verse 13. No.
Yeah, 13.
End of verse 12.
Okay.
Against spiritual wickedness in high places. Verse 13. Wherefore, take unto you the whole armor of the Most High.
So now, since we're in a spiritual battle, now he's giving us the tools how to fight against these evil spirits in these times. Because we need that. Go ahead.
13. Wherefore, take unto you the whole armor of the Most High.
Go ahead.
That ye may be able to withstand in the evil day.
See, that we may be able to withstand in the evil day. Go ahead.
And having done all, to stand.
You see that? So now, we're going to go through the armor of the Most High. So that way we can fight against these evils when it's presented to us. And we can know. Because sometimes we could just be walking in our daily lives, working, going to school, just walking outside. But we're presented with a situation where we're not even realizing that that's an evil spirit right there. Right? Go ahead.
Verse 14. Stand therefore, having your loins girt about with truth.
So you said, stand therefore, having your loins girded about with truth. What is truth? The truth is the laws and the commandments and statutes of the Most High. Let's get that. Let's prove that. We're going to Psalms. (19 and 4). Sorry, let's go to Psalms 119. Psalms 119. To show that what is the truth that our loins must be girded with. Right? So this is the armor of the Most High. Let's take it at Psalms 119 and 142, verse 142. Go ahead.
Psalms 119, verse 142. Thy righteousness is an everlasting righteousness.
Thy righteousness, the Most High's righteousness, is an everlasting righteousness, meaning it would never fail. Go ahead.
And thy law is the truth.
And thy what?
And thy law is the truth.
And thy law is the truth. So we must keep the Most High's laws as our truth in our daily walks of life. So we can continually have that armor. So we can be able to pinpoint, all right, this guy is wilding right here. I see he's operating with a demon. Let me not fuel his fire even more and get into an argument with this guy and fuel that battle. See? So the truth gotta be with us. That's gotta be girded about our loins. What's next? Right?
The second line of verse 14.
Mm-hmm.
And having on the breastplate of righteousness.
And the breastplate of righteousness. Also, more of the laws, the commandments. How do we know that the Most High righteousness is the laws? It's our laws. It's keeping the laws. Let's get it in Deuteronomy 6 and 25. Deuteronomy 6 and 25. Right? This is what's going to keep us away from these spirits that are being loose in this earth in these last days. Right? Take it at verse 24.
Deuteronomy chapter 6, verse 24.
Go ahead.
And the Most High commanded us to do all these statutes.
See, the Most High commanded us, the children of Israel, to do all these statutes. Go ahead.
To fear the Lord our power.
Go ahead. To fear him. Go ahead.
For our good always.
See, for our good always. So these righteousness would be for our good always. Go ahead.
That he might preserve us alive.
See, that he might preserve us alive. So if these righteousness is for our good always, and he's preserving us alive, that means there's nothing that these evil spirits could do to us if we keep these commandments. If we're walking in righteousness, we have the breastplate of righteousness. These evil spirits have no power whatsoever. Go ahead.
As it is at this day.
Go ahead.
Verse 25. And it shall be our righteousness.
It shall be what?
Our righteousness.
So that breastplate is our righteousness. This commandments is our righteousness. Go ahead.
If we observe to do all these commandments before the Most High our power, as he hath commanded us.
There you go. You see, that's the breastplate right there. The commandments. That means we got to be in the laws day and night, as David said. As a matter of fact, let's read that too real quick. Let's get that in Psalms 1. Let's look at Psalms 1 real quick. Psalms 1, verse 2. Look at that real quick. Psalms 1, verse 2. Look at Psalm 1, verse 2 real quick.
Psalms chapter 1, verse 2.
Mm-hmm.
But his delight is in the law of the Lord.
You see, a righteous man's delight is in the law of the Lord. Go ahead.
And in his law,
you see,
doeth he meditate day and night.
See that? So a righteous man meditates on the laws of the Most High what? Day and night. That's our righteousness. That's our breastplate. That's how we're going to keep ourselves to withstand the wiles of the devil. Let's go back to Ephesians. Ephesians 15, right? Ephesians 6 and 15. Go ahead.
Verse 15. And your feet shod with the preparation of the gospel of peace.
And you see that? Our feet shod with the preparation of the of the gospel of peace. Excuse me. Right? That gospel of peace. Right? What is that gospel of peace? What is the gospel of peace? First of all, we know what the gospel is. It's preaching the good news about the kingdom. But what is that gospel of peace? Why must we have that gospel of peace? All right? That gospel of peace will keep us from engaging in arguments or a sinful fight for no reason, because like we said earlier, these demons and these spirits are looking for hosts, so they will use one person to get at you, right, and pull you in to what that demon is trying to do, and open you up now for a demon to use you. Now they're doing battle with each other, with two people. Right? That gospel of peace. We gotta have that. Let's get that from in the book of Proverbs, if I'm not mistaken. Give me a second. Let me find that for you in the book of Proverbs. What Proverbs says. Proverbs chapter 3. Proverbs chapter 3, verse 29. Proverbs 3 and 29 and 30. Go ahead.
Proverbs chapter 3, verse 29.
Go ahead.
Devise not evil against thy neighbor,
Go ahead.
seeing he dwelleth securely by thee.
Mm-hmm.
Verse 30. Strive not with a man without cause.
See, strive not with a man without cause. What else?
If he have done thee no harm.
If he have done thee no harm. You understand? Some people just look to fight people. But why am I going to get into an argument with a man that I never even seen before? You understand? People get easily offended nowadays. So that's why we gotta strive with that gospel of peace. So the scriptures are telling us strive not with a man if he doesn't do you no harm. You ain't hurting, you ain't harming my life. My life is not threatened to you. So why am I going to engage in a battle with you? That's what these evil spirits is looking for. Go ahead, let's go back to Ephesians now. Go ahead.
Verse 15. And your feet shod with the preparation of the gospel of peace.
See, we gotta have that peace. Right? Go ahead.
16. Above all, taking the shield of faith.
You see that? Above all, take the shield of faith. What is the faith? What is the faith that we're looking for? Faith that the Most High is with us. Faith in Christ. Right? Let's get that scripture. Let me find it for you guys real quick. Let's get that scripture so we can know how to have that have that shield of faith, right? Because a lot of times, a lot of us go into situations and we're not confident. You know what I'm saying? Because first of all, the Most High said we can't please Him without having faith. Let's get that first. Hebrews chapter 11. Verse 6. Hebrews 11 and 6. Right?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Hebrews chapter 11, verse 6.
Mm-hmm.
But without faith, it is impossible to please Him. For he that cometh to the Most High must believe that He is, and that He is a rewarder of them that diligently seek Him.
You see that? So we got to have that shield of faith. Let's get more on the shield of faith. So if we don't have the faith, if we don't even believe in the Most High, because He said that we must, read that part again, where it says that He must believe.
Verse 6. For he that cometh to the Most High.
See, if you're even coming to the Most High for anything, you should what?
Must believe that He is.
Gotta believe that He is. That's your shield of faith. What else we need? What else of the shield of faith we need? Let's get Philippians 4 verse 13. Philippians chapter 4 verse 13. Go ahead.
Philippians chapter 4 verse 13.
Uh-huh.
I can do all things.
We can do all things, go ahead,
through Christ, which strengtheneth me.
Which strengthens us. So that is our shield of faith. Once we believe that Yasha'aya, our Savior, is with us, as He said in Matthew 28, He will be with us always. Once we understand and believe that, and believe in the Most High, we can do all things. We can cast out demons. We could rebuke spirits. They're afraid of us more so than we should be afraid of them. Okay, so let's get the rest in Ephesians. Where we at in Ephesians now?
Chapter 17.
Verse 17.
Verse 17. Yeah.
Go ahead.
No. 16.
Go ahead. Ephesians chapter 6. Verse 16. Go ahead.
Above all, taking the shield of faith, wherewith ye shall be able to quench all the fiery darts of the wicked. You
see that? With that shield of faith, we're going to be able to shield ourselves from fiery darts from the wicked one. They're saying all manner of evil against us, trying to get us to do battle with people when we shouldn't be doing that. We shouldn't be trying to strive with people who's not looking to harm us. Right? What else?
Verse 17. And take the helmet of salvation.
Helmet of salvation. Go ahead.
And the sword of the Spirit, which is the Word. of the Most High.
So that helmet of salvation is what? Christ, who is the horn of our salvation. Christ. Let's get that. Let's get Luke. Luke chapter 1. This is how we know Christ is our salvation. Luke 1 and verse 68? Yeah.
69.
Yep. Go ahead.
Start from 68.
Start from 68. Luke 1 and 68 and 69. Go ahead.
Blessed be the Most High, Ahia of Israel, for he hath visited and redeemed his people.
Go ahead.
Verse 69. And hath raised up an horn of salvation.
And have what?
Raised up an horn of salvation.
And have raised up a horn of salvation. Go ahead.
For us in the house of his servant David.
See that? There we go. And there goes our helmet of salvation. What else was there? In verse 7, in Ephesians 6 and 17. The sword of the Spirit. What is the sword of the Spirit? He said the sword of the Spirit is what? The word of the Most High. Rebuking Satan with this. Rebuking the devils with this. That's how we will stand in these days. Right? When Christ was being tempted by Satan, everything that he rebuked Satan with was with the word of the Most High. So we gotta meditate on these day and night. All right? We gotta meditate. That's our armor, right? Go ahead. Verse 18.
Verse 18. Praying always.
Doing what?
Praying always. With all prayer and supplication in the Spirit.
You see that? Praying always with all prayer and supplication in the Spirit. What is supplication? Always presenting your cause to the Most High. Always asking the Most High for help, for strength. Because we know it's not easy in these last days. We know it's not easy. So we need to be always praying to be able to withstand these spirits, man. Because when they come very subtly. And then before you know it, you're in a situation that you know you was not supposed to be in. So we got to be praying. We got to operate with this armor daily. Go ahead.
And watching thereunto with all perseverance and supplication for all saints.
See, and praying for one another, praying for all of Israel, praying for our people, so that way we can all withstand these demons. That's it on that. So I just wanted to go and do a brief breakdown on Ephesians the 6th chapter, because this is very key and very important in what's going on in this earth. A lot of people don't really realize that 9 out of 10, like all the time that they're in a physical confrontation with somebody or a verbal confrontation with somebody, there's an evil spirit behind that. So we got to be wise to that. We got to know what time it is, and we got to be able to withstand that, using the armor of the Most High and allowing the Most High to deliver us out of these situations, because we know our fight is not against flesh and blood. It's against spirits that were back then in the before the flood, who are still here looking to harm us, right? And we know what time it is. We know what we need to do, and we got to prepare ourselves. All right. So with that, we're gonna say shalom, brothers and sisters, and keep these words, keep these precepts, and review it. Always thinking about it, because I'm telling you, every day we're faced with a situation. We're faced with situations where any opportunity these spirits see, they're gonna jump in and try to use us for what they're trying to use us for. But we can't let that happen. All right, we got the armor of the Most High, Ahia, the God of our fathers, right? So we're gonna say shalom. But if you got any questions, let us know, and we'll stick around, and we'll go into it and we'll chop it up real quick, and then we'll do a little bit of announcements.